We'll give 5 minutes for people to join them. Still getting it.
Yeah, sure. I hope you are only seeing my screen, right?
Yes, just the screen now, yeah.
You're able to see the PPT as well.
Only the PPT.
Nishcha, I'm happy to start.
So I was just hoping for a few more attendees to join.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, a couple more minutes, sorry.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Those who are waiting patiently, please allow us a few minutes. We are going to start momentarily. We are just letting people in. So give us a few minutes and Nishcha will kick off. Thank you.
So, yeah. Yeah, so we'll start in the next minute. I think people are joining in now. 30 seconds, I'll start.
Sure. Thank you, Nishcha.
Okay, I will kick it off now. I'll start with it.
Sure.
Hi, good afternoon, all. Hello and welcome to the episode 3 of the Women at Work webinar series. This is a platform where women who lead, create, and build with purpose. So today's theme is Ignite and Innovate, from passion to product. So this is all about turning personal insight into powerful, scalable innovation and data-driven insights. So we are thrilled to be joined by Ms. Sowmya, a seasoned product leader with over 24 years of experience driving growth in B2B SaaS, ITAM, and data intelligence. So she currently works at Freshworks. She leads the strategy for Fresh Service, ITAM, and is also known for her deep customer focus. She also has experience in FinOps and a commitment to data-driven innovation. So, just about the series. This series is a part of a mission-driven initiative to empower more women as entrepreneurs, innovators, and change makers. So, this is backed by strong systems, networks, and mentorship. And I let Soumya take through the webinar. Thank you
Thank
so
you so much. Thanks, Nishchay. And thank you, everyone, all the wonderful people who have joined me today. Um, Ignite and Innovate. Today, the topic is how do you move from passion to product? It's part of the Women at Work webinar in association with KDEM and BAGGGEL Foundation. And I'm proud to be associated as part of BAGGGEL Foundation to bring this discussion. I call it more a discussion because this is where I want to talk to you about how you can confidently lead a diverse team, how you can realize the power of the product and the impact that you can have when you are building a product, right? Um, Let's briefly go into what the agenda is, what I would like to cover today. I'll give a short intro, then we go to the passion to product blueprint. I'll give you some tips and tricks of the trade. I will speak about how do you navigate the product world, like what are the core skills and strengths you need and how do you level up. Once you have done that, how can you build and aim bigger? And last but not the least, a call to action where we will revisit what we have learned through this session and see what is one thing that you can do next that will help you in the journey for building great products. Okay, so let's go towards the the introduction. The power of the product, right? So I want to share a personal story here. About 23 years ago, when I started my journey as a software developer working for an investment bank, we didn't have the concept of product manager. In those days, the concept of business analyst was just coming up. We used to get requirements. I used to sit on the trading floor. We used to build the product for the traders. And essentially, there it was a green field. None of us knew what it entails to build a proper product, to have a vision and roadmap, to know the why, the who, etc. Right? That is when the concept of product management was brought in with the umbrella term of business analysis, where we were looking at what does the business need, who are the business users, and why are we building this particular product for them. Because it was a green field, I had all the I would say, flexibility to create the vision the way I wanted. And over time, with the pitfalls and the learnings, I was able to understand the true power of building a great product, right? And that is my personal story where my journey initially started as a non product person. And I stepped into becoming more of a product evangelist, product visionary. And that is the journey that I want to share with you while we also talk about the why, right? So we have an incredible set of women and male allies as part of this session. Look around you. There are about 15 to 16 people who have joined here, and you all are here because you have a spark, a passion for creating, right? For solving problems and for making an impact. But how many of you feel like you are truly harnessing that spark and translating it to its fullest potential, especially in this demanding world of product and emerging technologies like AI, ML, right? So that is the first thing that we should talk about is the why, right? And who is this session for, right? The audience. I want to acknowledge all of you, whether you are just starting to explore a career in product or looking to make a transition, or you are a seasoned product leader striving for the next level, this session is for you. And we are going to dive deep into how you can not just participate in the product world, but dominate it, right? You should turn your unique passions into powerful products and your visions into impactful realities. So, today, the session, the what is essentially unlocking the true potential. We are going to talk about moving from that initial spark that you have, that you want to build a great product and the passion for building powerful products, and then take it to the next level, taking that product mindset to building and aiming even bigger in your careers. So that's the introduction and the basis for this session. So the passion to product, right? So this is where your journey begins, right? So translating the passion into the product ideas. What are some of the things that we will cover here? We want to identify, and while I'm doing this, think of it as a mental exercise for you, right? Identify what are these unique passion and strengths that you have, because that makes a lot of difference when you are building a product, right? You will be very interested in solving problems, for example. How do you take that to the next level? Bridging the gap. So you have an abstract. How do you convert it into a concrete problem? Next is validating your idea in terms of the market needs. And then last but not the least is the viable product mindset, or the MVP, when you want to build a product, right? See, one thing that's very important when you identify, uh, a product journey is the first thing, first question that I'll ask you, and I'll probably pause for 10 seconds, is what genuinely excites you? What problems do you naturally gravitate towards solving? What are your greatest strengths? And those greatest strengths is definitely, it lies in your deepest interests, right? So are you the kind of person who's always looking to solve problems, whether it is in your life or whether it is in your company, whether it is in a particular department or division, or whether it is a voluntary work that you do outside? So the tip here is, think about the challenges that you face daily, the frustrations that you observe in others, or areas where you constantly are seeking improvement. These are the fertile grounds for great product ideas. So uh, I would say, take a moment to reflect. What is one problem today, big or small, that you wish that you solved in your daily life or work? And I'll just open this for 10 seconds. Maybe one of you can share that, right? What is one problem, big or small, at your workplace or in your daily life that you would like to solve, like passionately that you want to solve? Can someone share? And then you can probably unmute yourself, and we have wonderful ladies and male allies here. So any one of you can probably unmute and tell me, or I'm just going to call names.
They could just put the question in the chat as well.
Yeah, you could put the question in chat as well. It's not yet Friday, guys. Okay. I think someone put their hands up. I'm not able to see that, and I saw that for momentarily. If you want to unmute, you can. Otherwise, I'd say think about that product or the problem that you have, right? The challenge that you face. Um, why I want you to think about it is because that automatically goes to the next step, which is bridging the gap. Your passion is great, whatever that you're thinking right now, what you reflected, the big or small problem that you want to solve is great. Um, but what type of problem does that solve for you? How do we connect the two, the product and the problem, right? So the tool that I use for that is the so what test. So you're passionate about some X thing. So what? Who cares? What problem does X solve and for whom? That is very important, right? So, for example, I'm passionate about organizing. I don't like clutter and mess. So, I'm OCD of sorts. So, what? People lose things, waste time, and feel stressed due to disorganization all the time. So, what? So, the problem here is the inefficiency and the stress that is caused by disorganization. Similarly, think about in your workplace or in your life, what can you do to make something better for your customer, right? That could be the product idea that you bring forth to your management, to your team, to your department, and say, can we think about a product that would solve that customer problem? So always bridge that gap from abstract passion to actual concrete problem, right? The third thing is validating your idea. So yeah, so now you had a problem, you put it into practice where you said This passion is great and this product will solve that problem. Next is, are you the person who's uniquely doing this in the market, or there are other people just like you? So understand the market. So this is where many aspiring product people stop. They have a great idea, but they have not validated it. So there are a few things that you can do to do that, right? There are various methods that you can use. You have SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat, that you can use for each of your competitors. But bare minimum, at a very high level, the things that you can do is do user interviews, right? You want to build a product and you are a budding product manager. You haven't started that session yet. Um, what you can do is sit with your support people, sit with the folks who speak to your customers, talk to your target users and ask open-ended questions about their pain points, about their aspirations, but not about the solution. Solution you will come up with, right? So the first thing is user interviews. Second thing is competitor analysis, right? So learn, do not copy. That would be my mantra. See what's out there, what are they doing really well, what are their gaps, and how can you differentiate? That is very important, right? After the user interviews and competitive analysis is minimal viable product. So here I tell my team, don't build the Taj Mahal. It took years for them to build Taj Mahal. Build the simplest version of your product that solves the core problem and that can hit the market faster. And it gets into the user's hands to gather immediate feedback, right? So it's a fine balance between the effort that you put and the time it takes to bring it into the market, right? And think of it like anything that you would like to do, like, probably a lot of you have experienced about wanting to go and make a purchase for a really expensive thing in your life, like it would be a car or whatever. You just don't go there and just give them a check and just buy it. Even I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Sowmya, we can hear you.
Yeah. Uh, while the network is still coming up, I had a small problem today with BBMP, so I'm just trying to uh, dial in even with my phone as well. The next step in mastering the craft is essentially uh, understanding the tools and tips and tricks for your product success. So once you have done the initial analysis, right, where you have validated your idea, you've bridged the gap, and the journey has begun, the next step towards that empathy and user centricity becomes key here, right? So always start and end with the user, understand their needs, understand the frustrations and aspirations for the user, right? So, for example, spend time observing the users, even if it is just watching someone struggle with a particular product.
Um, it's very
Recording in progress.
It's very important for us to know that communication and storytelling, where you articulate the impact to your engineers, sales, marketing, and leadership becomes extremely key, right? So master that elevator pitch for your product, right? So after you have the empathy and user centricity as well as the communication and storytelling, think about strategically how do you prioritize the list of features, right? So you need to think about um, a simple visual tool like impact versus effort matrix, right? So think about how can I make the maximum impact with the minimal effort to go with, right? And learn to say no effectively. There are times where it's not about being negative, but it is about protecting the focus and giving maximum value to the impactful product that you're trying to build, right? So once you have the empathy and user centricity, you have the communication and storytelling, you need to think about strategically how do you prioritize. And last but not the least is data driven decision making, right? Opinions are always great, but what is very important is data, right? So it's important for you to understand and learn to interpret metrics, to interpret the results and user analytics, right? I will stop here to take any questions and then we can go further to the next step. If folks are interested to unmute and ask any questions, that's great. I'll give 30 seconds. Otherwise, I will move on to the next section of what is it that we are looking at in terms of mastering your skills. Any questions from folks so far? From the core product management skills perspective?
I don't think there's unmute option. I think they can just drop in their questions on the Q&A box.
Okay. So I'll keep a note on the Q&A box. I think Kamini was mentioning the same thing probably. So
Okay.
I'll do the same. Okay.
Yes.
So we spoke about empathy, we spoke about user centricity, we spoke about data-driven decision making. The next is breaking in and leveling up, right? So how do you break in and you level up? It's very important for you to connect with other product people, right? I think it's important to know how people in the industry are thinking about it. How do you get into this exciting field, but advance once you are there? So always think about strategic and authentic ways to network, connect with other product people, attend meetups, online forums, and conferences like this one, right? Don't just go ask for a job or ask for or a tooltip, right? Ask for advice, share your own insights, and also offer help. So build those genuine relationships, right? So that is the first part to it. That's how you break in and you level up. Next is if you've gotten an idea from the first section when we were talking about, build it or propose a product improvement for an existing app that you use and document that process. Even if you don't have a direct experience in product management, uh, it's all about the customer empathy, the data centricity, and working with your teams to tell them that this is a problem that I see when I go and speak to my customers. I was in a call and I saw this, and I want to take this to the next level. Believe me, your team and your managers will be so happy that you're thinking from a customer viewpoint, right? And last but not the least is continuous learning, right? The product world evolves rapidly, especially today with emerging technologies like big data, AI, ML. Always stay curious, right? So blogs like Product Hunt, Mind the Product, industry newsletters. You have women in product groups in Bangalore and other places, Coursera, Udemy, etc. Try to ensure that you are plugged into what is the latest and greatest, right? The next thing is building and aiming higher and bigger. So the first thing that we did is we said, okay, we will navigate through building the product world, like crafting and getting the tools and tips and tricks for building a product successfully. What are the core skills, strategic thinking? Once you have done all of that, what next, right? Beyond the product, how do you build your legacy and you aim higher? So there are a couple of ways by which you can expand on your impact, right? Once you are in, it's about breaking that glass ceiling, right? So it's about how do you go from doing the product to leading the product, right? So you should think about influencing without authority. So as a product manager, you rarely have that many direct reports. But what you need to do is align diverse teams, whether it is engineering, design, sales, marketing. So master the influence, not command, right? And one thing where you can differentiate yourself is focus on shared goals. You can articulate the why and build the trust through that, transparency and reliability, right? The next is think about beyond a particular feature. So far we spoke about, hey, how do I hone my skills? How do I prioritize my features? How do I build my MVP? That is just thinking about the next couple of quarters or the next sprint in the agile world. Now you will start thinking about the product roadmap for the next 1 to 3 years, right? How does it align with your company strategy, their OKR, and so on, right? And last but not the least, think about, seeking out mentors who have walked the path. In Bagel, we talk a lot about greed, grab, and grain. It's very important for you to be a sponsor for other women as well. And pulling each other up in this product world is extremely crucial. So all of these things, whether you're influencing, whether you're thinking beyond the feature, whether it is mentorship and sponsorship, strategic leadership in product is very important and that encompasses all of this. Next is overcoming hurdles, right? So we all go through this imposter syndrome, right? Where we all feel it, we acknowledge it, but don't let it paralyze you, right? So you belong here. That's one thing that should be a key takeaway from this session. Keep a win journal of every achievement that you've had when you're building a product. It can be a very simple thing where you've just started your product journey and you just go and speak about a customer problem and that gets built out. Or it could be a big product where you get your hands dirty. Revisit it every time you have any self doubt and it creeps up within you because you constantly get challenged as a product manager. So it's very important to acknowledge it, feel it, but don't let it paralyze you, right? Always advocate for yourself. When you want to overcome hurdles, you need to be your best and your own advocate. So don't wait to be recognized. I think speak up about your product contributions and aspirations. If you're getting into the product world from another division, so let's say you are in sales and marketing or development, advocate for yourself. Talk about why you can be a junior product manager to begin with, because you understand customer problems, you know stakeholder management, you have good communication skills, you understand the market. Like that, you need to be able to advocate for yourself. So always practice advocating and articulating your value. It's very important. That is how you can go from passion to product. So you have a passion, you want to build a product, advocate for yourself that you can build great product and quantify your impact wherever it is possible and build a strong network. Find the tribe of women and male allies in product, or create your own tribe within your organization if there isn't one, and understand the challenges and celebrate the wins. It's very important to fail fast, but also celebrate the wins. And last but not the least, the power of your unique perspective, right? It's very important for you to understand that as women and our male allies, we bring invaluable perspective in the product development. So we bring empathy, we bring holistic thinking, and a keen understanding of diverse user needs. So embrace and leverage these strengths. These are all your passion points, and this will help you when you have that empathy, when you have that passion, when you have that user centricity and data driven mindset. You can build a product, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to build a product. You can get into that world. So aim higher and build your legacy through that, right? Um, while you do this unique journey, your experience, your passion, always remember that these are your superpowers in the product world. So don't hide them, amplify them, right? So now, call to action. We spoke about all of this, and your journey starts now. What all did we speak about? We spoke about identifying your passion, then translating it into a problem that you can solve with a product. We spoke about mastering essential skills. So communication, empathy, strategic thinking, data-driven insights. And then we spoke about network authentically, right? How do you build a portfolio and commit to continuous learning and aiming bigger? You can lead strategically, you advocate for yourself, advocate for your team and your product, and leverage your unique strengths, right? I leave you with this thought. What's one small step that you will take this week to move from passion to product or to aim bigger in your current product role? I would like you to take it as a takeaway, write it down, and commit to it. That would be your first step. I see a Q&A. I think Divyansh has asked me a Q&A on how important is it in having a nuanced understanding of customer context, industry dynamics, and the internal constraints in effective product management. Um, it's extremely important, right? I think uh, customer context is important because your customers are the ones who help you build the unique USP of your product, right? What is the unique selling proposition that you have, right? Industry dynamics, because your product you're building is for the set of customers. So it's very important for us to know how the market is progressing or proceeding. So you really do need to understand the industry dynamics when you are building the product, do market analysis, both quantitative as well as qualitative, right? And it's very important to be deeply rooted into the product roadmap and vision while you're doing that. Ultimately, what you want to build should line with your company's OKR and objective, right? So that's very important. So having all these three is extremely important in building the product. I would not say the gradation for each one of them is like 30% here, 40% here. It all depends upon the maturity curve of where your product journey is and what type of product you're building. I'm more than happy to discuss more offline if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. And, um, I think Divyansh Paliwal, we can always discuss how we can cultivate that depth consistently. I think constantly looking at the market, constantly looking at your business objective, and constantly looking at the data that supports, how the customers have adopted your product, the metrics and the OKRs would help you stay ahead in the curve. Especially in this AI ML world, there is a FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody wants to build an AI ML product, but I would say always start with the why. Always start with after the why. For whom are you building the product? Why are you building the product for that whom? And I would say think about the 5 V's for any product value. The first thing is the value segment. Which segment of the market are you targeting? Next is the value proposition, right? Who are the customers? What pain points are you solving, right? What's the unique proposition? Third thing is how do you bring the value by creating it, right? Like what are the synergies that you have in terms of developing that into a product? Fourth thing is how do you value chain, right? How do you sell that product, right? And last but not the least is value monetization, right? How do you monetize or price and package that product? So always consider those 5 V's, and within that you will have market analysis, you will have all those things that you have asked for, Divyansh, that would help you, right? The next, I think Suraksha had a question. She's from tier 2 city and she often hears about the importance of building a strong network, which is very true. Does networking always require in-person meetups? Not really. There are other effective ways to build professional network online as well, right? So, for example, there are a lot of virtual groups. Women in Tech is a virtual group. They have conferences on a yearly basis and quarterly basis. You can participate in Women in Tech programs. There are meetups organized by Women in Product, which is there in Bangalore, but they are opening up chapters in other cities as well. They do a lot of networking sessions and knowledge share sessions, so you can be part of those. And also, I would say is if you want to start a small product networking group within your company, that could also be a stepping stone towards understanding what it takes, right? There are also lean in network, though they are not related to product, but you have a lot of members from product community who are in the lean in women network as well. So that's something also, if you want, I can connect you with the lean in chapter member, Preeti Guruswamy, so she can also help you with that. So yeah, there are other ways to network. It doesn't always require in-person meetups. You can attend virtual conferences and try to see if you can get speaking opportunity as well and try to network. And once in a while, try to see if your company can sponsor you for these virtual meetups and events, right? For example, the Google Women Tech Makers meetup. You have the Google Women Tech Makers as well as the Microsoft women leadership programs. See if your company can sponsor you for those, and that will also help you, right? Thank you, Suraksha, for that question. I'm happy to answer this offline as well as to if you need any tips and tricks personally, ping me and we can connect on LinkedIn, right? Any other questions from folks? I hope this session was useful for people. Your journey starts now, it's just the beginning. So think about your passion, master the skills and network and aim bigger. Thanks all. Sorry about the glitch a little bit on the internet, but I hope I was able to convey effectively. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you so much, Soumya. And we have another 6, 7 minutes left. If the attendees have some more questions, we can take it up and then close it.
Sure. Anytime.
Yes, yeah.
Any other question from folks?
Yes, please.
I don't want to stand in the way for people and their lunch.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to connect. You know my name. Please search for Sowmya Sundararaghvan at Freshworks. Happy to connect with all of you offline via LinkedIn as well. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Please let me know what you thought about this session. I kept it non-technical, but if folks want to go a little bit deeper, like for example, how do I craft a product vision, right? From sprint zero all the way, how do I conduct user group meetings? How do I conduct user journey mapping? Storyboarding exercises, what are the templates that we can use, the tools we can use. I'm always happy to have further sessions and discussions with folks offline to help you with the product journey. And if you are stepping into the product world and you are not from the product world and you have certain questions and inhibitions, please feel free to reach out to me. We all started somewhere, so don't be too self-conscious. I think as long as you have the passion to solve a problem for a customer, that's all that it takes as the first step. So all the best to your product journey. I hope this session was useful. Thank you, Nischay. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Kamini, for setting this up. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you so much. On that cue, I'll just the closing remarks. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you so much, Soumya. It was really great for sharing such powerful insights on product leadership, innovation, and purpose-driven building. So yeah, we hope today sparked new ideas, questions, and also confidence in your paths forward. So thank you so much again. A wonderful day ahead.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.